Hi, my name's Katie. I'm back for another video. I've been gone for the past 2 weeks and I want to explain where I have gone to. Sorry, my dog's right here. So if you can hear his collar jingle jangling, and my child's are out here playing too. So you'll probably be able to hear her as well. But anyway, where have I been for the last 2 weeks? To be fair, I did film a video last week. It was another in my car video, and I edited it and didn't post it because I feel like my mental health these past 2, if not a little longer, but just hasn't been great. So the reason the thing that I've kind of pinpointed as to why my mental health kind of went on a downward spiral was because of this plateau that I've been in. It's not been fun. I'm out of it now, and I'm going to explain what happened because I think I have a definitive answer at this point. But it just is hard. It's hard when you're trying so hard and you don't see any sort of result. And you just get really discouraged, and it's not fun for anybody, right? And I tend to do that when I'm in a plateau, or before I got on Wegovy and I wasn't losing any weight, but I was still trying really hard. I would get discouraged, and that's when I would have a binge eating episode would be when something like that happened. So anyway, that's what was going on. I just felt like I wasn't being authentic. I felt like I was lying. I felt like I was being fake, and I don't want to feel like that, especially because I've only posted 4 videos on this channel, and I would like for if you're gonna watch this, I would like for it to be actually me and not someone being fake to you. So there's that. Basically, mental health was kind of in a nosedive. I don't want to say depression or anything because I've been through depression. I know how bad it is. That's not what it was. It was just not feeling great, not wanting to film, not wanting to put on a brave face or whatever. And so yeah, that's why I've missed the last 2 weeks. I haven't even looked at my channel, and I came back with 2 more subscribers, which is cool. And one of my videos almost has 100 views, so that's really cool. So thank you if you've watched any of them before. Thank you if you're watching this one now. I aim to educate people on PCOS and Wegovy and basically, my life. As I've said in every single one of these, I am filming, and I have been filming since day 1 of starting Wegovy. And eventually that will make its way onto this channel as a documentary, video journal sort of thing. But I've been filming since day 1. So even though I wasn't filming to post, I was still filming for the video journal thing. So you'll be able to see the frustration during that point of this plateau, which lasted a solid over 12 weeks. It was a really, really long plateau. I was stuck at 142 for a while, for months, and then I got down to 139, and then I was stuck at that for months again. So super weird how it happened, but the difference here is that when I hit 139, I started to get food noise again, and it started feeling like I could eat more portion-wise. And my period that I had within that time frame was miserable and awful, when it has been manageable since I started the shot. And I started to think, okay, Wegovy is not working anymore, and I need to do something about that because it's not working, and something needs to get done. So I did email my doctor, and I told her I'm at a plateau. I didn't mention the fact that the food noise was back. I feel like if I had mentioned that, then maybe I would have gotten a different response. But she was like, well, I don't know if it's insulin resistance again, but you can try metformin and see if that makes a difference. So back on super low dose metformin, 500 milligrams, that's usually the starting dose. And that didn't make a difference in it. And I was so frustrated and trying so hard and still, being low carb, and it just wasn't working. Nothing was moving on the scale. I started exercising more because I thought maybe that's what the problem is. And I do think that I need to exercise more in general. I need to be every single day doing something, whereas right now it's 4 days a week, which I know is still good, but it still needs to be every day. I should be aiming for something, right? Something like a walk Basically, what I ended up doing was going on like a Reddit deep dive, because just Googling it wasn't giving me anything helpful. So usually, especially with Wegovy and issues that I've had with Wegovy, if you search something on Google and at the end of it you put Reddit, you'll get the Reddit responses, right? And these are people who've been through it and like are sharing from firsthand experience. So I saw a comment on a subreddit talking about being in a plateau on 2.4 of Wegovy, which is the highest dose, so you cannot go up. And there was a comment saying just try doing the shot somewhere else. Like, and I thought that that was interesting. So a lot of the comments underneath that said, like, I did this and it worked. And the original poster of that post said, I did that and it worked. What else do I have to lose? At this point, I was considering getting on a different GLP-1. Zepbound, I believe, is the one. Because a lot of people who said that they had plateaued said that once they got on Zepbound, they started losing more. But some people also said that Zepbound didn't do anything for them and the side effects were worse. And I just was like kind of spiraling about going to a different medication, dealing with side effects again, dealing with all of this stuff again. Because right now, like, my side effects are pretty managed. I think because I've been on it for so long, like, I've learned what to do to avoid certain side effects, like the vomiting and stuff. So I did it in my arm. Now, to preface, before I started doing it in my arm, I was only doing it in my thighs. I was switching thighs, but I was only doing it in my thighs. And I think what happened, because I Googled, like, why does this happen, is this word that I can't remember right now, so that's why I'm not saying it. I probably also can't pronounce it, but this word. And that's like the shot causes the fat to break down if you're doing it in the same spots over and over again. And the shot needs to be absorbed through fat, and so it can be less effective when you do it that way. And so I did it in my arm, and within a few hours, food noise gone, the brain block was back, I was feeling better. And for some reason, that caused me to, like, spiral deeper into my, like, mental, like, crisis that I was in. Because I was like, okay, this entire time that I've been struggling with food noise again and all of that could have been avoided if I had just listened. Because they say not to do it in the same spot every week. They say to alternate areas. And I thought alternating thighs was good enough, but it wasn't. Granted, it did take almost a year to get to that point. But it was still, like, something that could have been easily avoided, and I could probably be at my goal weight right now, if not, like, super close, if I had just listened to, like literally the professionals' instructions. And so I was putting a lot of blame onto myself for that. The reason why I wasn't doing it in other spots was because I was scared. Like, I felt like doing it in my thighs was easiest, and It like, mentally, it was the easiest for me. Like, injecting yourself with a needle isn't really easy for anybody, right? Like, you've got to take a little bit of, like, mental work to get to the point where you can do that. And so, doing it in my thighs, it was, like, quick, in and out. I can do it. I could see it. And, like, whatever. And I never, like, had any issues with, like, I know people say, like, the pens can misfire and things like that. Never had any problems. So, and it was working. Like, I was down 60 pounds. So anyway, did it in my arm, and within a few hours, food noise was gone. Back to, like, regular scheduled programming. At that point is when I filmed my video that I will not be releasing, that I filmed last week, because I was, like, I think I was prematurely speaking and saying that that worked and that solved the problem. Now that it's been 2 weeks, today is shot day, so almost, it's been 3 shots since then. So I think I can definitively say that that did work, and I just did it too many times in one region, and that caused issues. And so if you are in a plateau right now that you've been struggling to get out of, and you've tried everything, and you're doing your shots in the same locations, try to switch it up. Some people say the side effects are worse depending on where you do it. I haven't experienced that. I think the side effects have been pretty much the same all around. Today was my first day doing it in my stomach, and that was only a few hours ago, and usually my side effects hit on, like, day 2 or 3. So, maybe doing it in my stomach's gonna mess me up, but so far so good. I had an incident with my toddler, and I've completely lost track of what I was saying. She's okay. She fell off her bike, but she's okay. So anyway, I think I can say definitively that doing the shot in the same place was what was causing me to like not feel the effects as much. And I am glad that that's all it was, even though I am upset with myself for it, because now I don't have to like go on another medication or like struggle through the whole like, what is wrong? Nothing's wrong with me. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you know, I thought my insulin was normal now, but I'm back to not being able to lose weight again. And just like that, you know, the mental, like I don't know if it's just me putting like too much pressure on myself, but I do feel like I could be closer to my goal now if I had like just listened. And so even editing that video like got me into a depressive kind of state where I was like, I can't upload this because I'm clearly not happy. I'm clearly like, and watching it is making me sad to watch. So I don't want to put anything out there that's like that. So that's why refilming took off 2 weeks instead of 1, and it's okay. Like, it's fine. And hopefully that never happens again. So I'm just going to keep rotating. I am giving my thighs a little bit of a break. I did this arm, and then I did this arm, and then today I did my stomach for the first time. And I think next time I'll do my arm again, and then like a different area on the stomach. I think the biggest thing to like watch out for is to make sure, even if you do it like only in your stomach, switch locations at least. Because in my thighs, I was doing it kind of in the same spots every time. So that is totally my fault. And I probably could get away with doing it somewhere else in my thighs, but I just want to give them a little bit of a break because it has been a year. Today's April 7th or 6th. And I think I started on April 13th of 2024. So it's been a year. But anyway, the big shebang here, the thing that I'm happy about is that in the past 2 weeks that I've been switching locations, I've lost 5 pounds. So that's awesome and super good. And so I think that brings me up to 70 pounds lost, I'm pretty sure, which is great. The relief and like just the feeling better about yourself, it really does make all the side effects and all the struggles and everything worth it. I don't know about anyone else. I can only speak for myself here. But everything that has like led up to this point, yes, I ended up needing like medical intervention to lose weight, which seems like, I know people talk shit on Ozempic and like talk shit on Wegovy and all the shots, like you're taking the easy way out and whatever. And I think I've talked about that before and how I feel about that. Some people can't do it the normal way. I couldn't. And now I am able to do it. You still have to watch your diet. You still have to exercise. You still have to do all the things that like a normal person would do to lose weight. It just is a little bit easier because that part of your brain that like I believe is like primal and is like, you need to find food. You need to find food. You need to find food. You need to have a snack. You need to eat. You need to do this, blah, 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 is quiet. And so it's a lot easier to do what you need to do when that part of your brain is quiet. And so that's my experience with it. It's just been like life-changing. It's been great. I like don't even really have words for it. I know I talked about like Wegovy has changed my life, and it really has. And like one of my fears is like insurance taking me off of it. When I get pregnant, I know I'm going to have to get off of it. I'm hoping to get off of it before we start trying to get pregnant, you know, just in case. And I worry about that. And I like, it's been like something I can't live without at this point, which is crazy because going into it, I was like, this probably isn't going to work for me because everything else that I've tried hasn't worked for me. And it started working within the first like 7 hours of my first shot. I guess I would be considered like a super responder because of that, because a lot of people don't experience that right away. It starts off on 0.25, that's the dose, and it goes up to 2.4, and a lot of people don't experience anything until they get to like the 1 milligram shot or milliliter, whatever, and that's when they like start to feel the effects of it. For me, it was immediate, and I'm not sure why. I have a feeling it has to do with my insulin resistance and just getting that leveled out a little bit. But yeah, so I do have a doctor's appointment coming up on the 24th of April. It is not with my provider who has prescribed the Wegovy to me, but it is, you know, with my primary care provider, and I was going to discuss this whole plateau situation there and like maybe get on Zepbound. For now, I'm going to stay on Wegovy. I feel so much better. I hope to lose another 2 pounds this week. My goal is 2 pounds a week still. I don't want to be doing anything too fast. I'm getting some loose skin and things that happen when you lose weight a little bit too fast. So I just, want to try and keep it like slow. My energy levels are back. My period, I know I mentioned that my last one was like really terrible, miserable, and awful. This one was on time, not early, not late. So far, it hasn't been that long, and it feels like it is going to end. Sometimes they just don't end. It hasn't been that painful. I don't know what it is about, like, Wegovy and, like, my period. I don't know how that happens. Like, I'm not a doctor, as I've said. I'm not a doctor, not a scientist. I don't know why it works so well with, like, me not puking and passing out once a month. I don't know how, but it does. It really, like, makes those a lot easier to live through. To the point where, like, I feel like I could go out and, like, do things every month, even if I'm on my period. Whereas now, or, like, previously, I've had to just stay home and cry. And, like, my boyfriend has had to call out of work so that my child has supervision because I'm writhing in pain and, like, debating going to the ER every month. And it's just not worth it. It sucks. It's awful. So, that being, like, relatively normal, or at least what I've hope normal people feel every month, has been like a huge relief. I really only had pain on the second day of my period this month, and it was like ibuprofen could handle it, whereas like previously ibuprofen doesn't even touch it, and it's like I have to take other things that I don't want to take and can't take because I have a child to supervise all day, and if I take the other medication that's been prescribed to me, I will be asleep all day, and like, yeah, I won't be in pain, but like I can't be asleep all day. I have a 4-year-old. So that is why my boyfriend has to call in sick on occasion, and it sucks, and it's no fun for anybody. And then like imagine you're going on a vacation or something and your period happens and like you're throwing up and passing out. I've had that happen in the past. So the fact that like it could be the weight loss, but then again, why would last month have been so hard if it's not the Wegovy, because the Wegovy was not working the way that it should have been, because it wasn't absorbing the way that it should have been, and I was having gnarly periods, gnarly food noise, gnarly everything. And now that I'm back on it, or like now that it's more effective, I guess I should say, periods okay. Like I would give that one a 4 out of 10. Like it really wasn't that bad. Maybe a 5 on that second day, but it really like, whereas the month before I thought it could have been an ectopic pregnancy because I was in so much pain and bleeding so heavily, and that's why I almost went to the ER, but then I ended, so I figured I'm all right. So that's my spiel for today. I just kind of, I don't know what the point of this video was, except for maybe if somebody else is having a plateau and like wanting to do a little bit of a deep dive into why that could be. Every other time I've had a plateau, I've been able to just like eat junk food for a day, and not like for all 3 meals, but like for dinner, I'll eat junk food. And then for whatever reason, that seems to like break me right out of a plateau. So that has worked for me in the past. This time I had tried multiple times to do that and it wasn't working, and I was feeling like shit because like eating junk food makes you feel like shit. And that didn't help at all. So now we're back on track. We are losing steadily again, not gaining. That's the good news. I didn't gain anything during that plateau. So whatever I was doing was at least working for that. And just back into exercise and back into life and trying to get all this shit done around here, and working on just like being a human in today's world. That's all I have for this week. I just wanted to like explain why I was gone and explain like what I believe was causing this plateau. Again, I will talk with my doctor about it and she can like confirm or deny that that's like a common thing or whatever. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you did, or whatever, liking, commenting. If you have any questions about Wegovy or PCOS, leave it in the comments. I want to eventually like do a Q&A video, but I know it's gonna take some people actually like watching these for that to happen. So eventually, maybe someday. I have lots of ideas. But a Q&A would be fun to do. And I do a video about like what PCOS is and what it does. That's my lowest viewed one. So I think if you have it, you probably are aware of what it does. But if you're not sure, then that video could be helpful. And yeah, that's all I've got for this week. So I'll be back next week. I'm gonna film, today's Monday. I'm gonna film on Thursday. I'll have this video up before that. And then hopefully like get the next one out, like, you know, get back on schedule and try not to let like my brain take over like that again. Wish me luck. So that's all I have. Anyway, I will be back next week with something. I don't know what. Okay, bye.